Okay, now it's recording, guys. So, okay, bring it up the questions. Okay, so
I have one.
just one thing, Andres, just to record that, I was telling Paulo that his gap analysis is really good. So he has a plan now to follow. So you guys should do the same. So where you are at right now, what you want to achieve. So if you want to achieve the same job position that you right now, read job descriptions. For example, if you want to go to Canada, make sure that you read some job descriptions about the position you want to be in, and identify what are the technologies that they are looking for. So that, okay, to be in that position, I need to, okay, improve this, I need to know this, I need to know that. So this is what Paulo did. He mapped all the things that he knows and what he needs to know or improve to reach a position or to be in a different position. All right? So this is the first step, the first tip. Second, you need to have time. Find time. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It does not need to be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. You don't need to like study through all your vacation, but reserve some time for your goal. Create a habit about that. So like automatically you just gonna start like getting to the bus, going to your work. You're gonna just get your Kindle or whatever you use to read books, and you're just gonna start work, like studying or reading or like listening, practicing your English listening. So remember, you need to have time to reach your goal. There is no like, it's not gonna like fall from the sky. Okay, so just to record the tips I was talking about. Okay, guys. So Andreas, you would ask something.
Yes, man. Well, your English is very good, man. You start prepare. Wait, you have the objective to move on at Canada, okay? I think as you defined with your wife, we have moved to Canada in 3 months or 4 in a determined time, okay? Is that happen?
Yeah,
More or less. Yeah, okay.
Not three months, but 2 years.
That's the question.
How many times? 2 years ago. Yeah.
So you have prepared 2 years, improving your English in 2 years?
No, it means that I started the plan 2 years ago. All right. It does not mean that you guys need 2 years or 3 years. You may get a job in 1 month. Okay. And another thing, it's not about the English, if the English is good, bad. It's about if you're able to communicate. You see? So my English, this level of my English right now, of course, it's not a product, but it's a result of years of practicing, years of speaking English, because probably most of us, we've studied in the past, like when we were in the college or when we were in the like second degree, whatever. So we had access to English. We practice somehow English, and also if we work with IT, we do read a lot of English. We listen a lot of English, right? But we somehow get stuck when we try to speak, but mostly we get stuck when we try to explain ourselves. It's like we somehow we feared to not be understand. So I'm gonna talk about like how Premium helped me. I'm not like advertising, okay? This is the true story. How that happens? Because you just get confident. You know, you just start speaking and listening, and you start correcting yourself, you start listening to the feedbacks, and you just start speaking, and that's it. Yesterday, I had a call with one of the person that is helping me with my process. This person is from the company that I'm going to work with. So, and my wife told me that, oh, you were just like, your English was not that good. And why? Like, I was listening pretty well. Oh, because you were saying like too much, like, and that's okay. What is the problem, you know? Oh, it sounds like when you start studying English. How's that, you know? Because I stayed too long without speaking English. That's why we keep you need to go to the classes as much as you can. If you can, like, somehow have the 3 classes all the day, just do it, because it's gonna pump a lot your English. That's why my English is in this level. And as the time pass and I'm speaking, I get more confident. I speak more clear, and usually I speak faster, right? But I'm not afraid anymore to, like, make mistakes. That's okay. I do make mistakes in my mother tongue language. So why in the heck I can't make mistakes in English, right? So what happened was, 2 years ago, I decided to join Van Hack just because of my English. I wanted to improve my English. We didn't have any plan to move abroad. I wanted to improve my English to use it in my previous job. Okay, so the focus was not moving abroad or find another job. It was to get more prepared to work with people from different countries, which actually happened happen how long ago, which happened in a few months after I started my English, right? I started as a premium. Okay, so I didn't work with my resume, I didn't work with my LinkedIn and whatever. I just attend to all the classes that I could. So but you know, I had the opportunity to meet Ilya. I had the opportunity to start working with Van Hack as a community manager, which helped me a lot. I had the opportunity to uh, be one of the teachers from the classes. So I used to be a teacher, all right, and also to prepare people via mock interviews, and that started like growing. That helped me to grow the idea to move abroad, and that what happened. So I stayed with Van Hack, and basically I started working with my resume last year. No, actually this year. But the plan was to get hired next year.
Okay.
You know, and then I attended to the fair and got hired. So
Yeah.
Sorry, Cristiano. Did you was are you? Oh, sorry. Did you was a teacher from Van Hack?
yeah, I used to be.
Yes.
Yes.
So and you are you an IT professional? Yes.
Yeah, I
or
am.
no?
Yeah, what happened was I am a premium member since 2 years ago, I think, more or less. But a few months later, I was invited to become a community manager. Community manager it's what Van Hack Juju is doing right now, basically. Okay, so it's the person that deals with the customers, the premium members, and even the non-premium members. So I started to work with them, and as the time passed by, I was invited to lead some classes, just to like, just to replace, not replace. I don't know the name, but when the teacher had a problem or could take the class, I
It's a
started.
backup, no? It's
Yeah,
a
like a
backup
backup.
person.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Thank
A
you.
spare teacher.
Yeah, I spare teacher. That's it. and,
Anybody,
and that became like, okay, you're gonna be one of the teachers, you know. So, and also I started helping. I started to prepare people through the mock interviews. So if you guys manage to get an interview via VanHack, you will have a mock interview to prepare you before you have the interview. So this is, and this goes for everyone that managed to get an interview via VanHack will have a mock interview. So it used to be. I don't know how it's working right now, but even with my experience, I did have a mock interview before I had the interview, the second interview with OBS. That is the company that I'm gonna work with. So they do make sure that, okay, you're confident, you know, like to not to refuse you to have the interview, but they do wants to talk to you to see how you go, to help you to improve before you have the interview. So I start doing that, which helped me a lot too in my English.
Are you living now in Canada, or do you
No,
are now
I'm in
Brazil?
São Paulo. I'm in São Paulo, and I'm moving to Canada next 31. So first August, I will be in Winnipeg.
awesome.
Please, Cristiano, what about the LEAP events? Do you know anything about the LEAP events?
Yeah, I know more or less how it works, but honestly, I'm not the best guy to talk about VanHack. About VanHack right now, because I've been away for more than, I think, 8 months, and a lot of things changed. LEAP events really works, so they do have a good rate, as far as I know, of hiring people. And guys, you should apply. If you think you're a good fit and you can be there, this is really important, because you need to travel there to the city that LEAP is going to happen. Just apply, you know.
Okay, yeah, actually, my own problem is not to travel. I wanted to know the conversion rate, so that you have a kind of idea of what is your percentage of success. So if you're going there, you have your mindset, and that will help you to
Yes.
decide how much effort are you going to put.
Yeah, guys. What I would say about conversion rate? Do you really want to work abroad?
Yes, actually.
So conversion rate does not matter. You know, this is something like this is me. This is Cristiano Pimentel giving you a feedback. Okay, so
Okay.
don't like. I understand that it's expensive to pay to go there, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of variables related to that. A lot, like a huge and probably infinite variables related to that. It's more about like you can't once you apply, you don't know if all the companies are gonna be looking, for example, for your profile. Maybe they will have like a list of, okay, we will have companies looking for these profiles. Okay, this is just one variable. But how you handle the interview is a really huge variable. For an example, I managed to do really good in my behavioral interview, but my first technical interview, I wasn't good. So you can't control that. I was so excited that I started just having a really great conversation with the interviewers, and that wasn't really good, you know. Not that it was bad, but the guys, okay, we need to interview him again, you know.
Okay.
So you can't how I would say measure that and somehow bring it up statistics to know like, okay, it works or not. This is about, okay, how much how much I'm willing to go for this goal, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I know I didn't answer you, but and honestly, I don't know if Van Hack will say you the conversion rate, because
Yeah, actually, I understand.
that's
It's like
a business thing, you know. But
okay.
you can ask them how many people were hired during the leap.
Okay.
I think the last woman's leap, girls leap was really great. Uh, as far as I know, and the next one, I think they will have a next one only for girls. So it might be good too. So the selection process is really awesome, but it's not, honestly, it's really hard to guarantee that, you know. Andres, let me just give the word for Joshua. Okay, Joshua.
Yeah.
Hey, Cristiano. Congratulations for, by the way, I joined in late. I'm not so sure. What phase are you are in right now in terms of the employment? Do you have do you already have your visa?
Yeah, I
And
just got my passport with my visa today.
nice, congratulations. So I
Thank
would
you.
just like to ask, how long did it take for you? So, because I just started applying for the visa today with Tatiani and
Mhm.
Karan. So I'm just curious, how long does it take before you after the online application and then
Okay,
this
so
kind of day? Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so you've submitted. So oh my God, you've submitted the documentation already.
The application through the Canadian immigration website.
So
Yeah,
okay, you submitted. So you got your LMIA already, and you just submitted.
yeah,
It
yeah.
mine took, I think, after the. Okay, so you got your biometrics already?
Y- Um, they asked me to book one, but they said I also need to wait for the letter of invitation for the biometrics because I'm gonna need to um carry that to the VAC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
you will need to get your biometrics, and the next step is, okay, you submitted, you will get your letter for biometrics, and then you wait for the approval of your WP. So what mine took, I think, 10 business days.
10 business days. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
I see.
They
Mm-hmm.
usually like say it may take like 20 days if I'm not mistaken. But mine, if I'm not mistaken, took 10 business days. And
Amazing. All right.
yeah, it's like you've passed through the worst part, like waiting for LMIA. It's honestly like the worst because you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Thank you, Casio.
Exactly. Thank you,
Bye,
Cassie.
guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, bye, Casio.
And you have no idea what's happening, so you just keep that like biting
I
your
see.
nails, you know. uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, and my God,
Mhm.
waiting for the WP is also like
Sorry, the what?
waiting for the WP is also like never ends, you know.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm worried about. It's just the starting line for me.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
know, because you want to make plans, but you
Mhm.
don't know when the
When you're
process is
gonna
going
get
to
the
end
permit.
to take the actions.
Oh,
I've asked to leave my work 1 month before I no 2 months before I move. So I told my boss that I was leaving, and I stayed there for
mm,
more 1 month by the law.
mm,
And my
mm.
last day was last week, so was almost there.
Oh,
My,
cool.
my account
I
was,
see.
yeah, but
All right.
it will take you more or less to get your passport. I think 3 weeks. I would
I
say
see.
mine took yeah. If I'm not mistaken, mine took three weeks after I submitted
Okay.
the documentation.
That's a good info. Thank you, Cristiano,
Yeah,
and
you're welcome.
congratulations again.
Yeah, that's not like don't take that as how it will work for you. You know, it what happened with me because
Yeah.
the the CIC could ask for more information from you. So Malini will need to send or ask for you. They could not, or they could like, okay, this document could be improved or something related to that. So it's
Mhm.
my experience took that time. So a friend of mine took almost the same time. Um,
Nice.
but you should like play safe. If you're planning
Mm,
things, play safe. Ask Malini how long could take, and like plan your things based on that.
I see. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. That's very helpful.
you're welcome.
Chris, Chris,
Go ahead, Andres.
when you receive the interview, get a job, you have to apply in express entry. In this is your case.
No, I didn't apply. I didn't apply. I didn't apply through Express Entry. Express Entry is a different process. So it's a federal process. So
Okay. Mhm.
and what they are using right now, it's called global talent stream, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So
Yes.
it's a
Yes. Mhm.
simpler process, but what it takes is that the company needs to ask for the LMIA. So what it takes is, so the company needs to interview you, to give you an offer. You need to accept. Once you accept, the company goes into a process that's somehow like, okay, I'm asking you, hey, hey, Canada, I want to bring this guy to work with me.
Mhm.
So this is
Yeah.
the LMI, right? So once you get that, you apply completely online. You do everything online, and you fill a lot of forms. It's really and guys, if you're using Linux, be prepared that you're gonna need to use Wine to run Adobe Acrobat because forms only
Andres,
works with
be
Adobe
careful.
Acrobat. You know,
Okay.
it's like, but
Well, no problem. I can virtually Windows. No
yeah. So be prepared to that. And once you have all of the competition, just submit online and just wait. You know, wait for the next. Okay, running out of time, we remove limit to. Okay, love it. Okay,
Oh,
some
someone give us a
yeah,
gift.
we just got more time.
You
uh,
can create another link if
yeah, I will for sure. If they kick our ass, I create another link, no problem at all. So this is how it goes. You know, basically, it's this. You just do it all online. There are a really big set of documentation that you need to bring, to translate, etc. But
Mhm.
once if you get the job through VanHack has a team that will help you through this.
Yes, yes, I know that. But I'm very confused. Well, I have I last week was a total change of my life because I focused in the move. So I have this feeling like I have the job. I can get a job. I can, but my English is poor. Is poor, and I can have the ETLs less than 2. So that's my feeling. So when you answer, I feel better because it is another ways, okay, to get the objective is moved to another country. Yes?
If you're going through Express Entry, you will need IELTS.
Yes. Okay.
So
yeah, this is my question. But
yeah, you will need
continue.
You will need
Hey,
it.
Christian.
And also it's not guaranteed. So because okay, Express Entry is a score-based queue. All right.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you just apply, and you will have your own score, and they have like a number that it's the cutoff. Like people that it's above that will mostly get the PR. This is really important. If you apply through Express Entry and you manage to have a good score and you receive an okay, you will go to Canada with a permanence of residence. This is different. I don't have this PR yet. So if you go through Global Stream, what you get is a working visa, a work visa. Okay, so Express Entry, you're free to find a job for you, whatever you want to work for. Okay, so you can you have a time, if I'm not mistaken, you have like, I don't know, 1 year, 6 months, I don't know, to move to there. Otherwise, you will lose your right to move, but you will land with a PR, and you can stay there, find a job, have interviews there, etc. If you do like the way I got a job and I going through the process, you will land there with a work permit, which is a visa that has 2 years validation. I don't know the right word, but it is valid for 2 years. Okay, you can still apply for the Express Entry even being in Canada. So one does not, like, if your English gets really great during like your first 3 months, you can have the test. If it's good, you can apply through the Express Entry. But there are a lot of variables that it's not about only the English, your age, you're married with someone that has great English, if you have kids, all that improves or not your score. Okay, so the best way is, if you want to like know how it works, like in the minimum details, talk to Malini. Malini will definitely answer all your questions about details about the process. But basically, this is the major difference. If you go through Express Entry, you just arrive with a PR. If you go through, and you can work wherever you want. If you go through Global Stream, you arrive with a work permit, and you need to work for that company for a certain amount of time.
Okay. Another question, dudes? I have one.
Okay. Just one question. So you don't have IELTS test?
No.
No.
I never tried, to be honest. My writing, probably I'm gonna mess it up with my IELTS doing my writing test.
Oh, okay.
I'm really terrible writing.
I have one question, Christian. I have friends living in Canada, and one said one thing to me that I did not know. Maybe you can confirm that information. He said that when you go to Canada with the process Express Entry, you get a PR, permanent residence, something like that.
Yeah.
And if you go through Express Entry, you have the same rights of a Canada citizen. But if you go with a work permit, permission to work, you don't have the same rights. For example, if your wife goes to one college, he pays more because his tuition fees is more high if you are international, if you have just a work permit. But if you have a PR, your tuition fees is more lower. Am I right?
It is true. It is true. I know about that. It is true. I am studied a lot of the immigration process, and it is true about the price you're paying for the college.
Yeah, maybe like one of the requirements that they do have for getting a PR is that you've been working there for a certain amount of time. So what they may assume is that, okay, this person contributed to the society, so now he earns the right to have that paid back. So, but maybe this is related to PR. Once the express entry process gives you a PR, so you get that right. But honestly, Mateus is the better person to answer. So
no, I'm not.
I didn't study that. I have friends that are waiting for the PR. I know a guy that already applied for the citizenship because he's been there for more than 5 years. So I don't know the result, but I know that he and his wife applied for the citizenship already. So in 5 years, I think in 5 years working there, you can have the test and apply for the citizenship. So once you have the citizenship, you are Canadian, almost a Canadian, a Brazilian
almost.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay, so please, going back to the technical aspect, what are the necessary things that you think one must possess before he can get a job?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I would say, guys, definitely. Like I didn't have, I had this. As Paulo mentioned during the class, like he learned about data structures and algorithms through the college, right? And honestly, during our like daily jobs, we don't deal with that. Some of us may, but I never had to deal with that. I never had to build a queue in my life because the programming language that we use, they do have that, and we just use it, right? But
yes.
Data structures and algorithms, just study, guys, practice. You know, you will eventually have an interview that the guy is gonna ask you about it, or even ask you to write code using that. Like bring a challenge and you implement that. Usually is related to algorithms or data structure. Okay,
Right.
so
Okay.
and we do have a lot of ways to practice that. VanHack platform has integration with HackerRank. You can go HackerRank, you can go Codility. You do have a bunch of options. So practice. I would say that if you of course, if you're applying for a developer position, also right now things that are trending, like DevOps things are trending. So if you have an idea about how the tools works, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery, it will be great. You know, also a brief idea how cloud works, Amazon, AWS, or if you decide to use Google or Azure or whatever, but have an idea about how Docker works, containerization works. That's great too. You know, but I know it's a lot of things, but I would like what I did. I used to be a software developer manager. So I've been in this position for 4 years. So basically, most part of my day was dealing with people, problems, and leading them, not coding. So I had not only the technical gap, but also the hands-on gap. So what I had to do is like I start practicing, and also I do love coding. So whatever I could, I just got a task from one of my team members, and say, okay, I'm gonna work with you too. So I tried as much as I could to write code, to keep things fresh on my head. But I had to take read some books, just refresh how Java worked. Like for example, there are really simple things that I don't remember anymore. Why to use like equals to implement toString in a class that it wants to compare. So, I don't remember that anymore. So this is really great to like, okay, I'm applying for a Java position. Read about the basics about Java, so you know the basics. You do have experience, right? So you can talk about things that you've done, how you managed to do it, but usually we just forget about the basics. So read about that.
Actually, for me, because I write code every day, so like say maybe like 10 hours every day. So writing the code is not my problem. Mostly, how do I present and convince that, okay, yes, I'm the person that you're looking for. And yeah, actually, I do have that kind of problem, especially when it comes to interviewing. Organizing my thoughts, putting things in a way that is going to be comprehensive. So
Yeah.
that's a thing also.
Okay, I got it. So we do have two different things in your question. One is how would say one is a technical test, for an example. Okay, you may have an interview that the person asks you to code, and the person is watching you, right? So
Yeah.
this is when you're gonna use your technical skills live with the person, right? The other situation is how you explain, how you implement something, how you manage to deal with a problem without being bored, like without giving too much details, but not being like superficial. Okay? So like most of us are senior developers or senior in the career that we choose. So we do have experience. Okay?
Yeah.
What the other person wants usually when you ask someone about, okay, how you deal with that? You want to know how the person thought about and execute the thoughts and reach the goal and fix it or implement it or test it, or you implement a test or whatever. So there is this technique that you've probably heard about in the past. It's called CAR. So you just think like this. You think about the context, about what we're going to talk, the actions you took, and the result. Okay? So when you're going to explain technically something that you've done, you give a brief idea of what was the problem, what was the challenge, what was the bug, what was the requirement. Okay, so you introduce the things to the person. The second is the action. Now it's the time when. Okay.
Let me give another point about this. And the Amazon, the company, the process of hiring people there, they recommend to the people who try to be hired by them to structure the behavioral question answers using the STAR format.
It's also, yeah.
STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So every single question that you should answer to them, you have to put your answer in this structure. So we have to give the situation, to give them the action that this situation is required, and the task first. No? You should describe the task, the action that you have took, and the results of your actions.
The idea is the same. Okay, basically you talk about. Basically, you let the person knows about what you're going to talk about it. Second, how you handle, okay, and the third, the result of that. And you can basically use that structure for whatever answer you're gonna answer, behavioral or technical. You just need to, for technical, when you're talking about actions and results, you will focus on the technical side of things, you know. But honestly, I don't know how to convince someone. Honestly, I'm being honest. I don't know how to convince someone just by talking that I can really write good code, or that I'm really good code writing, because I may know oh my God, I forgot the word. I may know all the theory about things, but when I start working, I'm really bad at that. You know, that's why a lot of companies are asking you to do challenges, or asking you to do coding live, or go to a whiteboard. I would shit my pants, honestly, if I have to go to a whiteboard. I never been there, so like
that's a bad idea.
That's like, oh my God, it's terrifying. So and if you're required to write code live with someone watching you or talking to you, make sure that you're explaining how you're gonna attack that to the person. So a lot of person just go to the interview, and the interview asks, okay, let's solve this problem together, and the person say, okay, done.
Okay.
You know, so communicate, explain.
I got it.
Explain.
So probably what he's trying to do is to see how well you communicate, how you work in a team, not necessarily how you write the code itself.
Yeah, that's it. And
That'll
how
be both technical and behavioral.
Yeah, and how you structure your solution. Bye, Igor.
Bye, Igor.
But
You know, so how you structure, how you communicate that. Okay, I think this is the best approach because I'm gonna use this, and perhaps the interviewer have a different opinion about that. That happened to me, you know. So during my last technical interview, I was asked to solve a problem, and the person asked me, okay, let's write a program. The first thing I told him, okay, I don't remember how to start main in Java, because the IDE does that for me, and I don't write code. Like, I'm not lucky.
Yeah.
As usual, so I'm not lucky to be able to like code 8 to 10 hours per day. I love it, but my position didn't allow me to do that. So I honestly, I was just honest with the interview and said, okay, I don't remember. I will lose a lot of time, but and the guy said, okay, just tell me how you would solve that. And what I said, okay, can I write pseudocode? So what I did was, okay, I just started writing function, if. It's not a language, but any developer could read that and understand the structure. And he agrees with me. So And we start just, okay, so you bring in this, and basically I discussed with him some possible solutions.
Okay.
And the correct solution was to use a queue. No, not a queue. Let me think. No, I stack a data structure.
Okay.
And I didn't remember that. But
Okay.
I found a solution. I just didn't name it as a stack, you know?
Okay. So actually, yeah, you're going to be given a context of a problem. So, and in the process of solving it, you have to say which data structure you're going to use. Is that correct?
Sorry, Jabir, I couldn't hear the last part.
You're just going to be given a random problem, and you're expected to answer that problem. So, are you expected to, after solving the problem, say what kind of data structure you're going to use in solving that problem?
It may be. That depends a lot. I would say, like, if you're applying for there was a company during the fair that I also applied, and I failed during the technical test. The interviewer just opened a browser. I never saw that, but he opened a browser, and I was so, like, that was my first technical interview ever in my life. Like, I have 26 years of experience. That was the first time someone asked me to develop something in an interview, and I was really, like, nervous, etc. But I thought it was really, really, like, really good experience, and I really thankful for them for let me be there and have the interview. But it was really hard, and we are so used to, this is another thing, we are so used to use the IDE that we sometimes we just don't pay attention to the small things. And that solution that he was using had no IntelliSense, so I messed it up with some variables during my test, but I managed to fix it. And it was a really simple test, like take it out all the words. No, count how many. Count. The challenge was find the word that repeats most of the time. This is pretty easy to do, right? And but the guy didn't ask me about any data structure. You basically use a map or a key value, some sort of data structure. But there are a lot. Like in Java, you have a lot for a different situation, etc. Probably he wasn't looking for, like, okay, this is really the most performant thing, but maybe he was looking for, okay, how this guy handles this, how fast he create the solution, implement a first version, and identify later how it could be improved. You know, honestly, I think there are interviews that the person asks you to implement, like, okay, implement for me a tree list or something like that, you know, just to see if you know the structure or whatever. But yeah, man, honestly, you need to be prepared. Okay, I would say that you need to be prepared, at least know how data structures works. So when you see some problem or some challenge or random problem, whatever, so you could think, okay, this might be a good situation if I use this kind of structure. I think, like, you would be required to write like the most performant thing ever for a Google or Amazon interview. Honestly, I'm being honest. This is not it's Cristiano talking to you, you know. So I think Google will ask you definitely to like write a code in a
efficient way. Okay.
yeah, and make it the most efficient way ever, like ever, you know.
All right.
So
I see. Andres is trying to ask something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Chris, well, I don't know if you have school credential like a PhD or
no,
a
I
master
don't.
degree or
Just
bachelor.
graduated, bachelor.
Bachelor. Ah, okay, okay. I don't know if can I ask you if you have a lot of interviews, or may I think, you know? How
No,
many?
actually, no, I didn't. I just had 2 interviews. I told you guys that I was in the right place, you know, and I have, I have, yeah, and the company was looking for a person with a profile that really matches with my experience. So I do have experience with multiple programming languages and like infrastructure support, a lot of things. So and it's a consultancy company, so it's a really good fit for that, you know. But actually, I had 2 interviews in for during my goal to move to Canada. I had 2 interviews because I was refusing the interviews. To be honest, I was refusing. I was getting ready to start having interviews next year only. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is really big. So how do you attract those kind of interviews in that sector? Because actually, for me, I think if I can get 1 or 2 interviews, I might probably get one, unless if it is really tough. So how did you manage to attract that interview?
Yeah, because we Van Hack brought a fair, a job fair to São Paulo, and I live here. So, and I just applied. I was invited also to apply to the fair, and I just did it. You know, with like I do have like Canada. How would say that? If you look for like they want experienced people, you know. So and I do have like some sort of experience, more than 20 years is not something that like you just come up or you just found easily. So I think that it's a good thing. And also I had the opportunity to work with .NET technologies and Java technologies also, so I can play both sides. Also, I do have some experience with, no, I wouldn't say front end because I'm really shabby in doing design, etc. But I managed to work with some web projects, and the infrastructure side also is really good. So I think my profile is some sort attractive. And but honestly, I refused a lot of interviews.
Maybe we would like to go and see your profile.
you can check on LinkedIn. You can find me by Cristiano Pimentel. Yeah, you can definitely just add me there. That when I decide to, okay, now I'm gonna open up my LinkedIn, I'm gonna work with my LinkedIn, I'm gonna work with my resume, and I'm just set LinkedIn to say to the recruiters, hey, I'm open for changing my job. Really, guys, I refused, yeah, I refused it more or less like 10 interviews in weeks.
Wow.
Most of them for Europe. So Europe is looking for a lot of people. Ireland. So I got invitation for interviews for positions in Ireland, Germany, Holland. Yeah, just those, and UK.
All right.
Yeah,
And
me
I
too.
refuse that
Me too.
because when I decide to, okay, let's start playing this. Let's start taking action. I just went to the fair and got the job, you know. So I had to really like start. Oh, thank you, but I'm in the process for Canada, etc. But I would say like a well-written resume, well-written LinkedIn will definitely attract people. And there is one thing that changes that just switched from people just seeing my profile to sending me message. I took it out the word manager.
Okay.
Really, because honestly, I had the job, I had the position of a manager, but I was more a tech lead than a manager.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was still doing technical things as most as I could. So I changed that. I've just put there my what I was really doing. So I changed it from manager to tech lead, and people start inviting me. So companies that look at in the past to my profiles when I was using the word manager, just got there and read my resume and read my profile again and sent me a message. Hey, I have a tech lead position and you would be a good fit for it.
All right. All right.
Yeah, wording,
Yeah.
man. Wording is really important.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
I left all my questions.
go.
Sorry, guys. I have to go out. I left you. So, Cristiano,
Andres,
thank you very much for your small talk. You have an hour talking. Awesome.
you're welcome. It's my pleasure. And you guys, you're just helping me to practice my English.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So, bye. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, Andres.
Okay, guys, jot down more questions.
Okay. I see, Paulo. You're trying to ask something, right?
No, I
Oh,
just say bye.
oh, okay,
All right,
okay.
really?
Right.
So, as a tech lead, Chris, what do you do? Because sometimes I get all this kind of mix up between a senior developer, a junior developer, tech lead, manager, VP engineering. So all these kind of
Yeah.
things have a clear boundary on those things. So what is it exactly they're looking for based on your own experience, and what do you do as a person?
Yeah. So what I would say is that in like this, there I wouldn't say that there are boundaries because you do like that's just a title, you know. So honestly, that's just a title, like manager, tech lead, VP, etc. So you do have like companies that they do have vice presidents, which are VPs, or like directors that do manage like 10 people. The company I used to work for, a vice president would like, okay, I used to be an assistant vice president,
All right.
but I led the biggest team that I led had 5 people. Okay,
Okay.
but in the same company, we do have vice presidents
Okay.
that lead no one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's a title,
All right.
you know.
All right.
But basically, like in general, if you are a manager, you are more related to people.
Okay, then a tech.
Yeah,
All right.
like in general, okay? But you do have, you may find positions that requires you as a manager to know a lot of, to have a really great background, technical background. So,
Right.
but you will find managing positions that does not require you to know, to have a technical background, but you will eventually lead uh, a technical team. So you will manage their tasks, you will manage people, you will manage their goals, and you will lead people, you will prepare them, and you will grow with them. So it's more related to people in general.
All
Uh,
right.
a tech lead, I would say usually it's the most senior or the most senior team members that you have. And actually what they do is they in my experience, they make sure that the technical tasks are being handled in a good shape, and also work with the team to prepare them to like make them grow in a technical sense of things. So but my position was more like a mixed things, because I also had to prepare people in a behavioral way, so with their soft skills. But basically I would say that. So what I would say, like, read the job description. You
Okay.
know, you may find like VP positions that in the job descriptions requires you to, if required, you join the team and code with them.
Okay. Okay.
This may be for small companies, like they have a really small team, but they do have this president, vice president, etc. structure. I think it's called C-level, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yeah.
but since the team is really small, if they do need more resource, you will need to go and write with the team, write code with the team.
Yeah, actually, I'm very much used to writing code. So even if I'm the president, actually, I have to write the code. So that's what I do mostly for fun, actually. So, uh, okay, Chris, thank you very much. And I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I'm
No,
sure that
guys,
I would like to.
if you
Um,
Thank
have
you,
more
Chris.
questions, please ask.
okay, I would like to know if I can maybe talk to you any other time for any assistance, because actually I'm determined to do this, so I'm looking for more insight about how I should go about it and the people that have done it before.
Okay, just let
Okay.
me know.
Yeah, actually, thank you very much. I would like, I'll chat you so that I'll get your contact.
Okay,
And
sure.
Matthias, also, I had that you have a lot of experience on that, so I will definitely hit you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay.
So,
Yeah.
Christian, good luck in your new journey.
Thank
Okay, thank
you.
you very much. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. I keep you posted, guys. I share how is my next challenge is to find a home, so I can
Oh,
have
really?
all my family. Yeah, because I have 2 cats and 2 dogs.
Okay.
Whoa. Good,
All
good,
right. All right.
good.
So
Okay.
apartments, housing is really easy to find, but apartment and housing that allows like 1, 2 pets, it's okay. But I have almost a zoo, so
That's
it,
really
it's
nice.
it's a little bit tricky. But
Whoa.
fortunately, I do have a really great friend of mine that lives there. It's a Van hacker, so he got hired through Van Hack,
Oh,
and
good.
Okay.
and he's helping me a lot, and he's just waiting for me there. So
Oh, that's really nice.
I
That's
I
fantastic.
can try to bring him to a conversation with us one
Good.
time or another. So I let you know.
Okay, that would be very nice and good. Okay.
So guys,
Thank you very much.
thank you for this opportunity.
Okay,
You're
bye.
welcome, guys. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, John.
To let me improve my English also.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
nice. That's great.
Javier,
Bye,
see you
guys.
soon,
Have a
bro.
good night.
See you then, Matthias. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.